Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of the URBANCAST Let's Talk show. We're going to have two shows tonight, by the way. I'll be speaking with former APD officer David Foshi right after this conversation with Shicola. Hopefully, we'll have Crystal come in here and join us as well. But I'm your host tonight, Jack, and tonight we're going to be delving into something that's affecting every single person here in the city of Alexandria: local politics, civic engagements, and all that kind of good stuff. Now, listen, politics isn't just what happens in Washington, D.C. or what we scroll past on national TV. Politics is personal. It's your street lights. It's your utility bill, your police response time, your taxes, your district lines, and right to have a voice in every part of it. And right now, Alexandria is facing some big decisions, from the mayor's recent redistricting veto to possible utility rate hikes, return of a proposed property tax renewal, ongoing concerns about public safety, 60 officers down. These issues impact our neighborhoods in very real ways. So tonight we're joined by Shicola Jones and Crystal Vallery. Crystal isn't with us just yet, but there are two women who stay plugged into what's happening and who understands what and how important things are for citizens to show up, pay attention, register to vote, and participate, not just when something goes wrong, but all the time. Before we jump in, I want everyone tuning in to share this broadcast, to get active. Shicola said she's going to be taking some comments just in case somebody want to put a comment out there. Crystal says she'll do it when she comes on board as well. I know I didn't. I just told a little fib there, but I'm gonna put them on the spot.
I definitely take some comments.
Huh?
I definitely take some comments.
You'll take some comments. See?
Yes, I definitely take comments.
All right. Civic engagement starts with what's being informed, and I guess, Shicola, we're gonna just go ahead and begin right there. Everybody know you, Shicola, so we don't even need to go through this formal interview thing. But the first thing I want to start with, Shicola, what was your immediate reaction the other night, and when the mayor finally put out his veto, especially considering the council voted 4-3, the collective of the council voted 4-3, and by a signature, all of that went down the drain?
I felt like it was a very selfish decision. And, at first I really couldn't believe it was going down like that. So I had to go see personally myself because I had some questions that I wanted to ask him. So I went down there, and the first thing I did was I went in there at 3:40 to grab a sheet to fill out because I had some questions about the redistricting, because I wanted to know what made them feel like that she deserves a veto or she deserves this grand favor from the mayor, because she hasn't did anything since she's been in the seat. Like, this was planned to give the city councilmen and women an equal amount of citizens. This wasn't done because people have moved out the city, people have went other places, people have left Alexandria, some areas have gained people, so they were breaking the map down to make it fair for every council person and woman, every councilman and woman. This is why the map was broke down the way that it was broke down. It had nothing to do with her. It was for the citizens. It was so that the citizens could better reach their councilman or their councilwoman. So for him not to take that into consideration or to overlook that as to why was the map done, or to just redo it to benefit this one person, what is he gaining from her? You know, what are you gaining from her? That's the bigger question that everybody needs to ask is, what does he gain from her staying in her seat? This is personal. And when I walked into that meeting, I seen it was personal. I seen a lot of elderly, older, I'm gonna say older, some older than me, privileged people. And it was no low poverty or middle class white people there, or no low poverty or middle class black and brown people there. It was privileged white people there. It was your Jim Lloyds. It was those people there. It was a lot of privileged people there. And they were even sitting in there with their fur coats on. It was privileged people. It was his friends. It was everybody who worked for the mayor there in that room. I think me and Jay and you, and besides the media and Kay, we were the only people there. There was about 4 of us that didn't work for the mayor. It was just a sad sight to see. And you can tell that it was black versus white, because like none of the black council women or men were there. And it's very distasteful. Like we have grown past these times. We do not live in these times no more. And there is no reason for the city elected officials to be behaving this way. But it's going on right on it's very distasteful and it's saddening. And you see it.
So would you say it was more of a classist kind of thing going on in that room, or would you say it was more of a racial thing?
It was both. It was classist and racial. Okay. It was both. It was both. And I think this meeting was to be done to show that he's in power, that he has control. I think this is based off that he wants control of everything. In order for you to get this type of control, I'm gonna put people in place to ensure that he want to put people in place to ensure that he keeps the control. And what this was basically was. This is a control. We're dealing with a narcissist. We're dealing with a selfish leader. That is what we're dealing. He's not for the people, because when you're for the people, you make decisions even if they affect you. It's like a parent. I might not like the decision I make, and the decision might hurt me, but it's in the better interest of the child. So I'm always do what's best for the but he doesn't have that mindset. He's not for the people.
Do you believe the public fully understands what was at stake when the district lines were changed or overturned? Do you think people really understood that?
No, they don't, because the problem is he's expecting to go on what has went on for so many years. See, he's expecting District 1, 2, 3, and some of 4 to stay asleep and not go out and vote. And he's going to use his privileged friends that goes out and vote to keep him in office. But see, what he has forgotten, times have changed. We have the media, we have so many people, we have people like me who have platforms and people with voices, and people just get sick and tired of things like this. I'm not the only person that's tired. And I promise you, when I made that video, a lot of white people got under there, and they're sick of him too. They are very much so sick of him. And there's a lot of low poverty white people, middle class white people are just sick of him, just as well as the black and the browns. Everybody is sick of him because he's not for the people. A leader shouldn't see color. He shouldn't see financial. We shouldn't have a prejudiced leader in no type of way. A leader sees people, and a leader does what's best for the people. And he cannot do that. No matter how much faith we put in him to do it, he cannot do it. So he has counted us out. But District 1, 2, and 3, and some of 4 have got to realize that they hold the power. We have got to go out and vote. We have got to get our children registered. Now you have an 18-year-old in your house, a 19 or 20-year-old, take their ID, go online, register these children to vote. If you can take them to an NBA YoungBoy concert, then you can take them to vote. You could take them to vote. So we have got to do this. We got to take them to vote. That's the problem. It starts now. We're up against a fight and he needs to go. I mean, it's clearly, it's out there. Jack, I remember, and I don't know if you remember, because I had that recall going at the time, that when Alexandria was down 60, they were down 20 and 30 something officers when Hall was in. It was 20 and 30. We're now down 60 something officers, and everybody's just sweeping it under the rug. He got on TV and he held this chart and say, this is how much come out of the utility system, out of city funding for policing. But we have money that's going to policing, but we're down 60 something off. And I'm not taking away from the blue and black. I'm not taking away from, we have some great people over there. I believe personally, Chad can be a great police chief, but I think the problem is his boss. His boss won't let him do what he's come to do. He's been with the state troopers. He has some experience that he can bring and do great things. But the problem is the mayor and Caffrey. That's the problem. That's the head of the problem. That's the problem. You know, and I'm gonna keep it real. And I don't care who don't like it. That's the problem. But it was a big old thing. It was in the news every week. KLAB was posting it, all on what they were talking about when Hall was down, all these officers. They don't. Why Stephen Maxwell talking about that we're down 60 officers? He's holding all of these nice press conferences with the mayor. When is he going to ask the hard questions? The mayor, why are people getting shot in broad daylight? Why is all these businesses leaving Alexandria, Mr. Mayor? Why is Bolton Avenue looking like a dead zone and you got to go way over there to Jackson Street just to get to a pharmacy on the other side of town? What if you don't have the transportation to get over there and you have a sick child? You no longer have any pharmacies. Why when you drive down 3rd, it looks like a ghost town? Why when M&M Meat Market has been there for years and years and years and years and this business, why not build around this business in Lee Street? Why not bring it back? Why are you, listen, why we can't do that? Why are you not helping districts 1, 2, 3, and well, you're helping some of 4, but district 1, 2, and 3, you're letting it go down. Why? I thought the mayor was supposed to be for all people and not some people. I thought a lot of people went voted for you, not just those people. So why are you focusing on certain communities? Why won't Stephen Maxwell ask him what is he going to do about this crime rate? Yes, the people are to blame. I have said this. We are to blame because we uphold certain things, but he's also to blame. Those cars says to protect and serve. And how could you protect and serve if you don't have the manpower to answer the calls? You don't have the manpower to flood the streets. So I personally believe, Jack, you want to know what I believe?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
We need to reallocate funds. We need to take funding that we're using that goes over there for the 60-something police officers that we're down. We need to give it to the sheriff's department who have the manpower to put them on the streets. I think the people need to vote on it. I think there's something that the council board needs to put into play, that the money needs to go to the sheriff's department. And if he veto it, then let him do it, because election time is coming up and we hold the last laugh. We have the cards. He got no spades in his hands. We hold the game-winning books. It's in our hand. So right now we have the power.
So you saying right now, Shicola, that you believe that we have a public safety issue.
We do.
We have a public safety issue, and you're saying that if we have the funding already allocated for the 60 or so officers that we are down, you're saying that other policing agencies, and in this case, the sheriff's department, could potentially provide the additional policing that we need in the city of Alexandria, and we got the monies. Since we can't hire the officers, the sheriff department can get the deputies. Well, let's
give them the money.
Outsource this service to the sheriff department to kind of backfill some of the patrolling that we need on our streets.
Yes, it's either that or we make the sheriff department number 1 and make Alexandria Police Department number 2 within the city limits. And I think going through the home rule charter, it is a way that we can do it. You know, people will have to stick together. We can, if, you know, they failure to keep the community safe. I know Bosch just did away with their police department because they were having some issues, not quite like ours, but, you know, and they just did away and got the sheriff department completely. But if we can't come to an agreement. And I'm not saying this is a permanent thing. I'm saying this is temporarily, maybe for 6 months to a year, until we can get those officers back up and we can build around those great men and women that we have at the police department, because we have some great officers there. So until we can build around those people, then we need to reallocate funding and send it somewhere else. I think that's the best thing for the people. At this point, you know, he cannot keep the community safe. And his main focus is not on what the people or what the people want. He's a selfish leader. It's sad that we share the same district attorney. We share the same sheriff. We share the same police juror as Pineville. Pineville is progressing. The only thing they're missing is a mini mall, Jack. If they get a mini mall, then they're going to wipe Alexandria right off the map. They got the businesses, the jobs are going over there. Plastic Pack just announced that they're expanding. Procter & Gamble is expanding. They're bringing TJ Maxx. They bringing all these different food chains to Pineville. The only things missing from Pineville is a mini mall. And you want to know the difference? We said, should we share all these same things together? The police juror, the district attorney, the sheriff. The only thing we don't share that they share, if they have a mayor that's going out there, he's for the people. Our mayor is for him and his friends. He's selfish. That's the truth of the matter.
Okay, Shicola, that was a earful. Let me ask you another question here. We're going to change the subject just a little bit, and I'm sure everybody really understand exactly what you were saying there. Let's talk civic engagement. Why do you think so many citizens stay unengaged when it comes to what's going on downtown in the city council meeting, when it impacts so many of our lives? And then if I'm gonna throw a two-part to it, what do you think we can do to try to bring them, to reel them in so they can begin participating in what's going on? Because according to you, Shicola, you're thinking that, you know, there's a lot of things that our leaders can do, but you know, in that so many people are unengaged in the process, you know, and the old reliables are there to go vote, you know, the chronic voters, you know. So what can you as a younger person do to try to attract more people going and go vote?
Well, Jack, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When over 6,000 and some people got their lights turned off, if that ain't enough to make you register to go vote, then I don't know what is. During the time that happened, we was down there with Chris Pearson, and when Chris was trying to stick up for himself to keep his job, to intimidate Chris, they sent his baby mama to jail, had her arrested right out there, and threatened Dylan, whatever they did to Dylan at KLAB, where he wouldn't air it. Now, these are facts because I was there. I won't speak no lie. And the mayor office were there to get on here and dispute what I'm saying. Intimidation has been a problem for these gangsters, these politicians. They want to intimidate. So people are scared of the backlash. What would happen to them if they stand up for themselves? But see, I'm here to tell people we're stronger in numbers. We're strong. Right now is the time to make him sweat. Right now is the time to send him back to Longleaf. This is the time right now. This is the time to do it. If you want to put the pressure on them, and this not just for him, this go for, because let me tell you what I see. Chuck Fowler is comfortable. Jim Valloyd is comfortable, and so is Lizzie. They are comfortable in their seats. They are comfortable, but we hold the power. We are the voters. We are the people. We are the voice. We employ them. We are their boss. And that's we are your boss. You're not our boss. We're your boss. We, the citizens, are Alexandria, or Jim Valloyd, Chuck Fowler, the mayor, Lizzie, Malcolm, Perry, Johnson, Jules, every last one. We are your boss. If you walk into a business today, when do people talk back to their boss? When do your boss need a meeting to get up and tell you how they feel? This is what's going on. They're taking our rights. They're treating us like we the employees. You got to sit here and I got to write a letter and you got to approve my letter so that you could hear my concerns when I'm your boss. Now we got to get them out of there. We got to vote them out. We got to remember that we hold the power. I think that's what people are forgetting. But now we live in a time with social media and all of these things are popping. You know, we live in a different generation. You parents have to take your 20-year-olds and register them to vote, and your 18 and your 19-year-old babies, and from 25 to 30, if they're in your household, and register them to vote. If you're a convicted felon and you haven't been on papers, what it is, 5 years, go down there and get the paper from probation and parole and take it back to the courthouse and register yourself to vote. There is knowledge in numbers. That's just what it is.
Well, so what would you say to that person, Shicola, that says my vote don't matter? Because there's a lot of people that feel that way.
They say votes don't, then continue, then don't complain about the way you're living.
But they're
don't
complaining.
Complain.
They're complaining about the utilities. They're complaining about the lack of jobs. They're complaining. So what can you tell them? You know, because we need them at the polls to go pull the lever.
The problem with the people in Alexandria, Jack, is they have got comfortable with poverty. They don't know no better. This is all they see. Half of the people in Alexandria ain't been outside to Alexandria to know that we ain't living right, Jack. They have got comfortable with poverty. They have got comfortable with nothing. And that's the truth of the matter. Until you've been outside of Alexandria to see big things, then you don't know that the way you living is not right. So they have got comfortable living like this. You have kids, besides going on a school field trip, that have never been outside of Alexandria. And we don't have a boys or girls club or nothing, nowhere to take them anywhere, to show them that it's more to life than the way they're living in Alexandria. They don't know any better. You know, God said it best in the Bible. He said that it was better to not know him than to know him. They don't know any better.
They don't know any better.
They
Shicola,
are used to living like this.
Mm-hmm. I want to backtrack a little bit, Shicola. I know there are some folk, I'm looking at some of the comments that are coming up across the page out there, and they're talking about, you know, your thoughts of, you know, the sheriff department taking over or providing some services to the city of Alexandria while we are down in officers. And they're adamantly against that concept. But expound a little bit more, because I heard you say earlier today when you were talking that your issue is that we are not getting certain services, and immediately, you know, to provide a short-term solution to what's going on, if leadership can't get that taken care of, we need to address the shortage issue from a short-term perspective. So your idea is not that a permanent thing. Your thing is we need to backfill to provide some of the foots on the ground, right?
Yes, we do. Right. So this is my thing too, when people are at me against this. When it comes to drug violence and task force, I'm just gonna put this out there. The raid team is right now #1 in Central Louisiana. Our sheriff did that. Mark Woods. We have a raid team that other agencies lead on to go out and to get help. And they go out, they specialize in that. The raid team do. When it comes to fentanyl, people ODing off of fentanyl, he's created a wonderful rehab program for those people. So I'm not just speaking on something. I did my research. Instead of locking these people up, he's giving them a chance to get clean, and he's had success. He's had stories that walk out. People have got clean of fentanyl and able to regain their life. It is a 1 in a million chance that you'll get off of fentanyl. He's had success. He's had about 10 people do it. But I'm not saying this because I believe that I want him to take over permanent. I'm saying this because I know that we have the tools over there and we can get the job done. I know that they could put the manpower on the street. If they see that 10-year-old with a gun, they can get it without causing harm to that 10-year-old. And we can avoid, if they see a 17-year-old without a gun, they can nicely card this 17-year-old and get this gun up off this 17-year-old. I'm not saying this. I'm saying that they have the tools to bring down the violence rate. That's what's wrong with people. People want results, but they don't want to do what's necessary to get the results. You want a solution to the problem. You want to wake up. You want it to be a dream. You want the dream to be over. But that's not the way we living in Alexandria. We have to put out an effort to get what we want. So what I'm saying is, I know we have a team over there that can deliver the results. And all they need is the funding to give us the off. They have the officers. All they're asking for us to do is to pay the officers, and they'll put them out there and temporarily until APD can get their manpower up. What's the problem?
I hear you. Okay, I hear you.
So let your house get broken in. If you don't want to lean on the sheriff department, then let's keep living the way we live.
Shicola, Alexandria residents continue to face high utility bills. What are you hearing from families right now? Because I know I'm hearing the bills are going up right now. Even before this this cold wave came in. What are you hearing from families right now?
I hear the same thing. Listen, somebody just asked me about fuel. Jack, what is fuel cost? What is fuel cost? I could spend $30 in utilities, and $190 is fuel cost. How is my fuel cost higher than what I spent in utilities? Where does the money for fuel costs go? Who gains this money? Something is I'm telling you, I think we need an audit, Jack, to come from outside, from somewhere, to help us, because something here is wrong. This is affecting with the government shutdown. We had this government shutdown. This holiday is horrible for a lot of families, Jack. And I'm talking about a lot of I'm not just talking about Black people. It got middle class white people. I mean, it does. It has middle class, all nationalities are suffering because of this. So the utility rate is horrible in Alexandria. It is horrible. It is hard. Listen, when I leave my house, do you know I unplug everything but my cameras, because I just want to see them come read my meter. I got to make sure that they come read my meter. I unplug everything but the cameras, and the cameras run off the solar thing outside. That's how much I'm trying to save. I just feel like this is not fair to us. But we, the people, have to be tired. We have to be tired of struggling. We have to be tired of being middle class, just making it. You know what I'm saying? We have to be tired of that. Don't everybody want to live good? Don't everybody want to wake up and have no worries and stress, and you ain't got to worry about this month high utility bill? I be scared. Sometimes I get my utility bill, I have my fingers crossed. I be in here praying. I do, because it don't make any sense to have to live like this. Does my whole paycheck gotta go towards my utility bill? That's crazy. One paycheck, I gotta give that whole paycheck, because I might get an $800-900 utility bill, and I gotta give that whole paycheck to the utility office.
I hear you, Shicola. And you asked that question about what is that thing called fuel supplement. And a while back we had an expert here talking about the idea of what this thing called fuel supplement. And he talked about it's almost everything. It's just not fuel. It's all other kind of line items that go into it, that you have to go buy these things in order to produce the electricity. But, just like you were saying, no one can explain just what that is. And why is it so high at certain times and other times it's not? Because it's not just the fuel, but it's other related things that go into it. And maybe one of these days we'll get somebody to explain to us, how do you calculate that number? But with that said, what do you think needs to happen for more transparency and fairness?
Well, right now, Jack, I don't think we're going to get any transparency out of these leaders, because what we're saying here is a repeater cycle in Alexandria. For some reason, the leaders don't know how to come together. Is either you have a great council team, and then you have a mayor and his people that won't work with the council team. Like, this is like a repeat cycle. This has happened before with the prior leader, where the council board and the mayor and these people fought. I think right now, in order for us to get what we need to get, accountability has to be had. People have to be willing to say that they made mistakes. People have to be willing to say that they have made a problem. People have to be willing to say that, you know, in order to get past this, we have to mend the bridge that has been broken, not only with my politicians, not only with the council board, or not only with the mayor's office, but with the people. With the people. The trust has been broken with the people. So we have to mend that with the people. That has to happen. And until you find people that is willing to do that, then you're going to have a problem. Until you find the council board that is willing to take accountability, or till you see a mayor's office that is willing to take accountability for the mistakes that have been made in Alexandria, then we're going to continue to have a problem. Right now, we need accountability, even with the citizens, because the citizens allow a lot of stuff to go on in Alexandria that they should not, and they need to take accountability too. We, the people, have to take accountability for the problems that we have created within Alexandria too, because we're just as guilty as them. So I think it needs to be a whole lot of accountability. I think it needs to be a meeting between the council board, the people, and the mayor, because so that maybe everybody could see each other's side and what's going on. You know, maybe you can't see what we see. It don't matter how much we yelling over that. Maybe he can't see what we see. I don't know. Maybe he don't see the bodies dropping in the yellow tape, or maybe it's not going on in his neighborhood. Maybe he don't watch the news. He ain't watching Stephen Maxwell. He just going there to do the interviews. I don't know. Maybe he don't watch URBANCAST. He only watch it when you say something bad about him. I don't know. He thinking you saying something bad about him. You know,
I never say anything bad about him.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why they don't see what we see. You know, that's the problem. So maybe accountability has to be had from everybody, the people, the mayor, the council board, the police jury. It needs to be a sit down. I think we need somebody from the governor's office to come in and officiate a meeting or something between the people and the politicians.
Well, you know, you said that. I know just recently, this past week, we had the Rapides Parish Police Jury had a lot of hearings, and the public had a lot of input, and they got an opportunity to speak. And you just don't see that, you know, in the Alexandria Council, in the council.
Oh no, you got to fill out a paper.
Yeah, you don't see it at the, you have
and they got to approve the paper.
Yeah, they have to approve the paper before you even make a statement. And you just don't see that in the other municipal and government bodies throughout the city, throughout Rapides Parish. You don't see it in Pineville. You don't see it in Cheney. No. You don't see it at the police jury. You don't see it in a lot of other places. But you do see all of these additional steps that you must go through to even almost just to say your name.
Control, Jack. That's the key word, control. I want control. I want to be able to control the narrative of what people think about me and what people see. Even if I know I'm not the right person at the moment for the people, as long as I can control the outcome, I'm in charge. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It's about control. They will not listen. If I'm a tax, got up there and he said he was doing this, the veto for Lizzie Felton because of voters' rights. Right? He said, because I'm a taxpayer, I'm a voter, I am a citizen in Alexandria, and I am the mayor's boss. I am your boss. And I got to go in there and ask you for permission to speak to you. I got to sign a paper. And if you don't like what I'm asking you because you don't want to deal with the hard stuff, I got to sign a paper. And if you don't like it, I don't get to get up there and ask it. Tell me that's not control. That is not. So meanwhile, he's sitting around here, he's playing chess with Alexandria. Alexandria got to get up and go vote and register. We got to play checkers. I mean, he's playing checkers. We got to play chess. We got to do something.
Shicola, we've touched on the public safety aspect, but we are down those 60 officers. You know, in your community, in my community, I know I'm prior service, and you know, when I hear the gunfire here and right around me, you know, from time to time when I'm hearing it, you know, it just reminds me of a military range or in a war zone somewhere. And I know some people say, "Hey, you've been a little harsh." When you say it sounds like a range or a military war zone. But, you know, I can only tell you what my ears heard back in the day. You know what I mean? And so
Mr. Jack,
my question to you, do you think, with getting those 60 officers, do you think that could help that or begin to help that problem that we're seeing and
It
hearing now?
could, because look, I'm gonna tell you a story, and I'm gonna tell you now. When I was younger and I was out and we was in the streets, we knew we couldn't play with calling them like that. They were so in the streets. And listen, if you tried to run, you could not run her dogs. She'll be way back there. By the time she got to you, the dogs, like, the only thing they couldn't do was put you in handcuffs. But it was so many of them in the streets. And I'm not saying that as a bad way. I'm saying we knew the officers and we knew that what we could and cannot do. And we were afraid to go commit crimes because we knew we were going to go to jail. We knew they had the manpower to come and get us. But let me tell you what's sad. The other day I was out there in the field and I was playing red light, green light with the children, and the guns went off and we heard a bunch of guns. One of the kids say, my nephew, he's artistic. He say, pow, pow, pow. He was trying to tell me it was a gun. I said, it's time to go. One of the kids say, Miss Shicola, that's a switch. And the other kids say, nah, that other gun that fired back, that's a 9, because it was a 1 shooter, but the other one kept going.
Oh, my.
That's the type of neighborhood. The kids are adapting to this type of behavior. This is becoming normal. We are normalizing violence. We are normalizing guns. We are normalizing these things, and our kids are normalizing these things. This is what's going on. And nobody realized the bigger picture. The bigger picture of what's going on in our community, that violence has become normal.
And that was going to be my next question. What does Alexandria need most right now, Shicola? Out of all of the things, what do we need right now that could, jar the public into understanding that we need. I put it this way, I hate to answer the question, but I know as I'm talking and covering these different topics here in Alexandria, everything always rolls right back to public safety. It always keeps rolling. So what do we need to do right now, in your opinion?
We definitely need to reallocate funds, Jack, as soon as possible, because let me tell you something. If we, I feel like not just the public, us, the people in the community felt that 8-year-old, but the public police system did too. Because I feel like maybe if they had these youth programs outside where you can teach a kid, if you find a gun, what to do or who to call. We have all these fundings, but we don't have any of that. So it was said that the kid found the gun 2 weeks ago. So if this kid found this gun, we should have a system. We should teach them these things, not just in school in their class, but outside of school. If you find a gun, this is what you do. But a buddy police officer that you see in the community that makes the kids feel safe. This is his area. This is officer such and such. He's in this area. And if you see him, feel free to call him. If you find something, kids, feel free, because all kids have social media and know how to use a phone. Call this number. Reward these kids. If you see a gun and you find a gun, here's a reward. Thank you. It is programs and things that needs to be put in place like that so that we can avoid these type of incidents, so we can avoid these things from happening. And I'm not saying that we're going to be able to save every kid or every person, but we could save enough to make a difference. Teach our kids that it's okay to go tell. That rat and get stitches thing is out the window. Saving your life is what matter, baby. That I see you another day. That I wake up and I get to hear Miss Shicola tomorrow. Miss Shicola, can I get a popsicle? That's what's important. That I see you tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. And it's going to take a community to do that. That is something the police need to do with the community. Maybe have some other people that are respected in the community to do it. Have some other parents. Make these kids feel comfortable or whatever. These are things that needs to happen in the community. Teach these kids about curfew, street lights coming on, that you need to be home because when it get dark, it's not safe. Not saying that you're going to hurt somebody, but we don't want anybody to hurt you. This is the times that we're living in, that we have to teach you about safety and things like that. Teach you about if you find drugs, what not to do and who to go report it to, because we don't want somebody's baby to get a hold to fentanyl and things of that nature, because we cannot give someone back a child. You know, teach children. It's sad. I have to tell my kids, if we have gunshots so many times, we get down in the tub. We go in the bathroom and we get down in the tub so that my baby won't be like that baby over there and catch a stray bullet. So we go and we get down to the place farthest to the back of the house, because this is where we live. This is the community that we live in. It's not safe. And this is going on in broad daylight. It's not just nighttime anymore. They have no respect for local authority here in Alexandria. They're doing this in broad daylight. They will shoot your house up, snatch your purse, kick in your door in broad daylight, take your car in broad daylight. They don't care. And they know we don't have the manpower to do anything about it. Yes, the cops may catch them a couple of days later. But if the cops was already in the area riding around, they would have seen that boy breaking in that car. They could have prevented it because he knew the police was in the area. These crimes are going on in broad daylight. People say they don't want to come to Alexandria. You don't want your kids to play outside because you don't want your kids to be a victim of circumstances. This is what's going on in Alexandria. And you mean to tell me all my local officials can't see that this is happening? Every business around Alexandria is closing. People are fearing for their life. They're running across the river or running out the states. They're packing their bag. The U-Haul company ain't never made so much money.
All right.
People are leaving here. Jack, that's the truth.
All right. I'm with you. Shicola, you know, after this, you know, the some of the things, the decisions that have been made here in leadership, and this momentum that we are actually having right now, you know, getting involved, getting, you know, involved in this civic engagement, getting out there, registering to vote. How do we keep this momentum going? How can we help keep this momentum going right now?
We got to keep advertising and telling people to go vote. We have to push. If you want change, you got to go vote. If you're tired of yellow tape, you're tired of burying your babies, you're tired of funerals, or if you're tired of wearing your loved one on a shirt or putting them on the front of a piece of paper, an obituary, you're tired of your house being broken in, or you're walking outside and your car's gone, or items missing from your garage and things of that nature, or your local business is leaving. If you just want to live better and feel better about the community you live in, then you got to get up and go vote. You got to convince your whole household to go vote. You can go to the movies as a family. You can go to the club with your homegirls. Then get your homegirl to go vote with you. Get your homeboy, take your family to go vote. Make it a family activity. Make it cool. Make voting cool. But you got to find a way to do it. People have got to get up and go and vote.
Right. Shicola, before we get ready to close out, did you have anything else that you wanted to say that we didn't cover?
Yeah, I just want our officials and city leaders to know that accountability is everything. And you haven't been done wrong. Nothing has been done to the officials. It's we the people that it's been done wrong. We don't owe you a sorry. We don't owe you nothing. We don't have to make anything right with you. You got to make it right with us. You know, my grandma always told me if you wrong somebody, you go to that person and you fix your wrong. Y'all got to come to the people and fix your wrong. The people haven't did you anything. You have failed the people.
Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. Shicola, anytime, Shicola, you want to come back and let's have some, because I skipped over a lot of the topics that we have because I got to get ready for another show here coming up at 7 o'clock. I'll be talking to retired officer David Foshi of the Alexandria Police Department. So if you guys who are listening to us right now, just join us back. You should get a little bink around in between that 7:15 time frame. We're going to definitely try to make sure we're there this evening, but we are scheduled to go on. We have confirmed, so if you guys are coming. But before we get ready to close out, I want to thank Shicola. I definitely want to thank you. I even thank Crystal. I'm going to talk about her. She know it's all good coming, but I'm pretty sure something popped up that she couldn't control. But her spirit is certainly here for joining us tonight for, staying engaged in the work that truly can truly shape our community. To our UrbanCast family out there, thank you for tuning in and sharing your comments and keeping these conversations alive. Remember, nobody can represent you if you don't show up. Register to vote, check your status, and make your voice count. And I know I got some questions out there about I want to request to join. We kind of have some controls there in what we go in, but if it's something that somebody want to talk about, if it's community driven, just reach out to us and we can definitely schedule, some time here on Let's Talk and cover your information in full. As always, I want to send a big shout out to UrbanCast supporters who actually support us and making sure we can do these type of shows. And that's Sadler's Towing, Lungs Product, Legendary Kung Fu and Tai Chi, United Wrestling Entertainment, Nader's International Market, and the Threadhead Embroidery. Without your resources, we couldn't do what we do. And we certainly couldn't do what we do without the public's input on the content that we actually get out here and put out. And that's why I definitely want to say to the folk who are reaching out to us about possibly speaking out and talking, just send us a message and we can have that conversation. We haven't told anybody no yet. We are strictly, civically engaged, and we want to encourage everybody to, to become fully engaged in what's going on at the school board, at the police jury, at the city hall, etc. So reach out to us and let's talk. We appreciate everybody for standing in there with us this evening and standing with our community. I'm Jack. This has been Let's Talk on UrbanCast. Stay informed, stay engaged, and as always, stay involved. Shicola, you have a good evening. If you can just hang on in there, Shicola, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.